Hello everybody. Today is going to be my first video in Minecraft Java testing out the new Minecraft snapshot to see all of the blocks that were announced in Minecraft Live this year because they sound pretty cool. The cushion, the poplar, and we will get into some cinnabar and sulfur too. And I just really want to test it out and figure out what's up with all the new stuff. Alright, let's get started. Alright. So I loaded in, and I found this spot real quick so we can really have a nice flat area to test everything. So don't mind that, but I really just want to see what all the new blocks are about. So I think the cushion is what I want to start off with. Alright, so just picked a random color, and I'm going to start with the light blue cushion. Something I'm real curious about is if this is a directional facing block. So, if I just sit down, it just makes me face the way that I was already looking. So, the cushion, just always letting you sit in the way you're facing, is pretty nice. And I think there's going to be a lot of use for this. Especially because it can just sit on things. Or, okay, never mind. Not in the air. Now, there's something I saw, and I want to test it out. If we get a boat, can we just glide on it? No. So, I probably did that wrong. I will test that out later, but there's still a lot of blocks. Okay, screwed that up. Okay, so won't be nighttime anymore. We get perfect daylight to adventure into all these new blocks. Another one I want to get into is the straw bed. And now, what this one does is it allows you to sleep. Well, that was kind of funny timing. But it allows you to sleep and skip the night without setting your spawn point, which is nice if you're on a long journey to, like, a stronghold, or, well, not the nether, obviously, but long journeys where it might get dangerous. It would be very useful to have a straw bed compared to a normal one. The only downside I can think of is when you set your spawn point 100. So, for example, if I set my spawn point all the way over there, and then I went all the way over there, and then I hit the iron golem in that village and died, then I have to go, but I set a straw bed to sleep here. Instead of being able to walk that small distance to the village, I have to walk the long distance from spawn because I didn't have a spawn point in my last spot I slept in. Also, straw beds only have one use, and they just disappear on you. So, it's a little annoying. Just because 3 hay bales gets you about 7 seconds of sleep. But it takes a lot longer to get that. You make $1, you spend 5. So, it's the only thing I don't like about that. Okay, now we're the wool slab and stairs. I don't know if I said the cushion was my favorite. Probably did, because that was the first thing I did, or I reviewed. Now, white wool, not my favorite, just because boring color, you know. But I think this is my favorite type of the block so far. The slab and stairs of wool. Because now you have so many more colors. This opens a lot of variety for just about anything. Because now you have chairs. Because with our new friend, the cushion. Take the blue one again. That looks a little funny. But now we have chairs. Alright, so this is just going to be a mental note for my next video. Write a script, because just trying to talk off my dome piece does not work. I stutter a lot. Not even, just don't know what to say. Long pauses. Screwing up words. Just not fun. Anyway, wool slab. I keep doing that. Typing ew into my thing. And now we have lawn chairs, which are pretty sweet. In case you try to make like an apartment style building, or I don't know, hotel. Really cool for custom creative maps, I'd say. So, oh, and then the poplar trees, which have this really nice new wood set that I will show momentarily. So, as I said, I would show it momentarily. And here it is. Really nice new wood set, I'd say. Reminds me a lot like the pale oak wood. But something that I do like about the poplar wood is that it feels much less vibrant. This is very white, and this is less hard on this is more easy on the eyes, is the way I would like to put it. The bark looks a little funny, on the outside of the tree. It very much does not at all resemble what the inside of the tree would look like. But if we get ourselves some bone meal and test out these new trees, they have the beautiful leaves of all the different colors, like orange, the yellow, and the red, I believe. Maybe? Yes. I know for a fact that yellow is the other color, and I feel like these would be very good for like fall, Halloween type themed decorations. And you know, I just think the different leaf colors, they look real nice. Something I think would be really cool though is if like an oak tree spawned in a poplar biome if they also had the same leaves. That might be a feature already, not sure, but I think that'd be cool. And if there were different types of the poplar sapling that you could see. Alright, let's move on to our last and final block before we get to some of the sulfur updates. Alright, our last block will be the new mushroom that grows on the side of the poplar trees. It's called the shelf mushroom, and if we get a block and we put it, I believe it's supposed to be bouncy to a degree. Definitely bouncy. I thought they were bigger, which is the one thing. Maybe you can bone meal them? Yes. And this could make for some cool entrances to cave-themed beasts. And now, what I think these could be cool for is like cave-themed bases. And make an entrance, you know, where if you go to the top of that mountain and then you just fall down on the mushroom. Never mind, don't do that, it hurts. So good news, you probably wouldn't die. Bad news, you still take fall damage. So it would look cool for decoration, but definitely don't use it as an entrance. I have just found out. I bet you could probably clutch with this though. If you needed to. Well, that wasn't the best way to show that example, but you get the idea. Like just that, you know, jump off something, clutch with a shelf mushroom. Doesn't seem like a awful idea. And I think this block is cool. I feel like it could use more function. I think it was cool. I think it could use more function to it, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just bouncy. It doesn't do anything. Alright, moving on to the sulfur update, because that is also fairly new for them to already be releasing the new previews for the next update that's coming in fall. All of the sulfur items, actually. Alright, next block is all of the new sulfur variants, which I'll be showing up on the screen now. And I think they're pretty cool, actually. You know, the sulfur, you could definitely make a backrooms vibe with the potent sulfur, with just walls of it. And that could definitely make for cool mod packs. Especially with the effect that sulfur gives when near water, the nausea effect. You could hide water under the walls and have the backrooms give you a nausea effect. And that could be a cool mod or a mini game or something. Just have a chance to teleport there. And then chiseled sulfur. It's kind of cool. It has a sulfur cube like ingrained into it. And you can put the chiseled sulfur cube into the sulfur cube. And now I've got double sulfur cube that moves 3 inches. Just like me when I have to run the track. Not very far. Something I see, and I really want to know if that does work. I have no clue if it's true or not. I'm very curious to see, though. If we bring us over to the water here. Does he do it? He does not. This is a mess. Alright, the sulfur cube isn't as cool as I thought it was. He does not have any sponge capabilities with a sponge block. I could do more testing. If anybody watches this video and decides they want me to do some sulfur cube testing, I will. But if not, I probably won't. And I will just do some Fortnite. Because I like Fortnite more than I like the sulfur cube. So, sulfur cube is kind of a bust, but it's pretty cool when you put TNT inside. Like a bomber, almost. Now, I've only tested this once, so I'm not sure if this is the way you're supposed to do it. Okay, that works. But you can see it on his face. Wait a minute. If I took just a bucket. And now I just have a bunch of TNT sulfur cubes. I'm gonna do something with this. Okay, I did something. So, now what I'm curious about, can I lead these all together? And just make the super bomb? Gotta be very careful not to bounce into these guys, because I built this concerningly close to the redstone. I think I'm going to need a bigger line of redstone. Maybe not, but... Okay. I, in fact, did not need a bigger line of redstone. So, bucket of TNT sulfur cubes is definitely pretty funny. That could make for a really good prank. Just, hey bro, what's over there? I don't know. You just have 40 TNT sulfur cubes launched at their base, one by one. And last but not least, cinnabar, which... not a cinnabar cube, sadly. There'd be no use for that, though. But... Alright, try again. Alright, last but not least, the cinnabar. It's not as cool as the sulfur, just because of the cube that they've got going on. Because you can put TNT inside. Because I just think that's still really cool. So you can make bombs in Minecraft now. But I do love this brick, and I think that roofs on houses could look a lot better now that we have cinnabar. Because, in my opinion, that nice stone is a lot... that's not my inventory. Is a lot nicer than any mangrove wood or the OG. Well, not OG, it came out in 2020. I forgot the name of it. Crimson. Because this has got a nice color. The mangrove stairs, they have a nice color, but it's not as red. This is more like a purple. This is a maroon, pretty much. Because this is purple. That is not purple. This is purple. This is like maroon. But this is actually red. And that goes with a lot of color palettes, I feel like. Like, if you like to build with pale oak, it looks a lot better. Because pale oak, strip logs, build something, you could use that as a roof. And I don't think it would look awful. I've built houses where I thought a red roof like this would look nice, but this hadn't come out yet. So, I'm really thrown between these two, because I think with the popularity of the backrooms, potent sulfur could have huge potential, and sulfur cubes could make fun minigames and troll items. Like, you could play golf in Minecraft now. And I think that'd be fun. You're just bored one day, you go play some golf. but I believe there is a lot more building opportunity when it comes to the Cinnabar blocks. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Alright, this is the end of the video. See ya. Bye-bye.